What do you think of the recent debut of the Waleses, the Prince and Princess of Wales, Catherine and William inheriting that historic title, especially Catherine? Hello everyone, welcome to Royal News Network. My name is Brittany, and today we're just going to take a little look back over this last week as Catherine and William have become officially the Prince and Princess of Wales, and how just glorious that is to see. It was so exciting when Charles first uttered those words. I was like, oh my gosh, they're the Prince and Princess of Wales. Because some people had said, some even, kind of royal experts had said they didn't expect this for a couple months, and that Charles did it like immediately the day after his mother died was just so impressive, so encouraging, and so exciting. And it shows how really the royal family is expanding and just moving ahead into the future. But if you guys haven't been here before, hello, my name is Brittany, and on this channel we will talk about everything related to royals. So that's news, gossip, fashion, jewelry, television shows, movies, and history. We shall do it all right here. So if you guys want to subscribe, that would be fantastic. But today I wanted to just talk about a little bit the glorious debut of the Prince and Princess of Wales. Yes, Catherine and William, they are embracing their destiny. They are officially the Prince and Princess of Wales, something we have not had since the 90s. And I think everybody was, just a little bit shocked and super excited when Charles first uttered those words. So why don't you guys go ahead and take a listen to this clip.
Today, I am proud to create him Prince of Wales, Tywysog Cymru, the country whose title I've been so greatly privileged to bear during so much of my life and duty. With Catherine beside him, our new Prince and Princess of Wales will, I know, continue to inspire and lead our national conversations, helping to bring the marginal to the center ground, where vital help can be given.
It gives you chills, right? It gave me chills. Because again, this is something very much, I had heard some people, and I still see some people on social media every once in a while, especially Meghan fans who are so freaked out that this title is no longer kind of held, as it were, by Diana, even though it hasn't been for years, because she passed away 25 years ago. And this title is not specific to Diana. I think because Diana was such a huge figure, people forget that the title of Princess of Wales has a very long history, including Catherine of Aragon. So this was the first wife of King Henry VIII and the daughter of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain. Yes, the King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella who sent Columbus across the ocean blue to the continent I now call home, thinking he was in India. Yeah, he wasn't in India. He really missed it. But the world was much bigger than he thought. Who knew? So anyways, this title has a long history. Going back to William Shakespeare, they mentioned this title of the Prince of Wales. It goes back to the 12th century when it was originally held by Welsh princes. Obviously, once Wales was conquered, it ended up in the English crown. And the first one to receive this title was Edward of Carnarvon back in 1301. He was the son of King Edward I. So this is a very deeply historic title. And obviously there's a lot of controversy. Some of those in Wales still believe that it should reside within Wales and that this should no longer be used as heir apparent to the British crown. But at this point it still is. And Charles, when he came in because he was the Prince of Wales for 70 years when he came in, well, kind of more like 50 years because Her Majesty didn't make him the Prince of Wales right away. No, more like 60 years. 60 years because he was made officially Prince of Wales when he was 9 and then had his investiture about 10 years later. So when Charles came back into Wales, there's still a lot of fondness for whoever is the Prince or Princess of Wales. And so when Charles came in, because he was the Prince of Wales for so long, he received this glorious welcome. So go ahead and take a look here. Yes, and so now Charles has made William his heir the Prince of Wales. And how incredibly lovely is that? It's so exciting, and I think William and Catherine are really deeply devoted to this title and really wanting to make a great impression on the rest of the world. So let me go ahead and tell you what. There was actually a bit of a statement, I don't know if it was like officially released, but kind of made the rounds and in the media and stuff about how Catherine and William both thought, how Catherine thought about this role. The couple are focused on deepening the trust and respect of the people of Wales over time. The Prince and Princess of Wales will approach their roles in the modest and humble way they've approached their work previously. The new Princess of Wales appreciates the history associated with this role, but will understandably want to look to the future as she creates her own path. So I just think that statement is lovely, it's simple, and it goes to show that Catherine and William, again, deeply respect what this title means, especially its historic association with obviously Princess Diana, the most famous holder of this role by far. There is absolutely no comparison. And so Catherine and William, of course, their first grand debut as the Prince and Princess of Wales came when they did this walkabout in Windsor. So go ahead and see some of the crowd reaction to them.
Bye everyone, thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.
Yes, guys. Everybody was so excited to see them. I was thrilled to see them. I was so excited. When the coverage first started, I first heard that Harry and Meghan were there and that Catherine and William were there, and I was like looking for the coverage. They were first covering Harry and Meghan. I was like, I don't want to see them though. I want to see the Prince and Princess of Wales. That's who I want to see. I don't care about seeing Harry and Meghan. I mean, at this point, they're kind of, at least in the royal system, they're non-entities. Please show me the Prince and Princess of Wales. So once they moved over to them, I was super stoked. And they did really a fantastic job on this engagement. They looked bright. They were really, truly engaging with people, and they seemed so kind. And obviously we heard this very sweet story, Catherine is sharing that Prince Louis, little Louis, the boss baby prince, was, told them that, now grandma is with grandpa. So go ahead and take a listen here.
I haven't been to moments like this too, but I love Louis. He's just so sweet. And I think he's like, she's now with great grandpa.
Isn't that so sweet? I love how they're dropping these little anecdotes in. And again, it's a great way to connect with people, because here's the big thing. Catherine and William now have to do this, their role changes just exceedingly, because now they were important to the throne. Now they're very, very important to the throne. So they really have to make this effort. They're becoming senior royals. And I've said before, I think they kind of were able to coast a bit for the first couple years of their marriage. And then after they had children, they were able to really have this very kind of almost not laid back, but they were able to take kind of couple weeks off at a time or weeks off at a time with their children. Now that won't be as much of an option for them, because they are the heir apparent. They are the direct heirs to the throne. So there'll be a lot more burdens on them and their children, which is why I think we haven't seen the kids yet. Catherine and William are trying to keep them in school, keep them engaged, and kind of, not overwhelm them with the new kind of, I think, public reaction to their roles. And obviously as well, I feel sorry for the kids, because their names changed 3 times in 3 days. They were Cambridge, Cornwall and Cambridge, Prince George of Cambridge, and then Prince George of Cornwall and Cambridge, and then Prince George of Wales. So their names changed quite a bit. And they just started school, lost their great grandma, lots going on. And obviously, I forgot to mention that the day before, Prince William had been with Prince Charles as he was, kind of officially proclaimed king with the Privy Council. So that was kind of a huge deal. And so Prince William obviously has now a very much more official role. And what I love about this as well is after the Queen's, death, that Catherine was still making the school run. Apparently William is still making the school run, as I guess the Times reported that Harry and William kind of ran into each other driving opposite ways in Windsor and then backed up and spoke through a window before moving on. And so I just thought that anecdote was kind of strange. But I mean, I guess that's good. I think one of the biggest things too is it was great to see them kind of handle the Harry and Meghan situation, which is going to be the biggest thorn in their side, I think, for the foreseeable future. So they were able to kind of circumvent, kind of the circus Harry and Meghan were planning on creating by doing their own walkabout, by asking them to do a walkabout. And you know what? You can't say no to the Prince of Wales. So William is kind of already showing his kind of strength here. And I think that is really, truly fabulous to see. So it seemed like the next time we were really able to see Catherine and William is they were arriving at Buckingham Palace as the Queen's casket arrived. And we had Catherine making a very, very beautiful gesture to the Queen by wearing a layered pearl necklace that belonged to Her Majesty. This has been officially confirmed by the palace that that's what she was wearing. And she also wore earrings that Her Majesty also owned as well. So Catherine has been very much paying tribute to her grandmother-in-law by wearing pieces of jewelry over these last couple of times we've seen her. And obviously she looked kind of forlorn, and William looked tense as they were riding in. And I think it's obviously they have a lot going on, and I'm sure mourning and doing all this very official things are difficult, but the family had a dinner that night and were able to kind of commemorate Her Majesty together in private, which was wonderful to see. And obviously Catherine and William put on a fantastic show as they were taking the Queen's casket to lie in state before the funeral. William followed the procession in his military uniform. Catherine was driven to the event with Camilla, the Queen Consort. And so Catherine and William again looked solemn, looked regal. And so go ahead and listen here. And I also love that in this coverage, at least for a good portion, Catherine and William were both blocking Meghan, which I thought was hilarious. I just thought that was really funny. Not that they were intending to do that, but the camera angles were right. I honestly think BBC was behind that because they seemed to pull away from shots featuring Meghan quite a bit. And then after Catherine and William did that, they were actually they went up to Sandringham. My understanding is that, at least according to one or two royal reporters, they were planning on spending the weekend there, although we've seen them in London quite a bit, so I guess that wasn't really the case. But that they were going up to Sandringham and they looked at the flowers displayed there. This is obviously the Queen's estate, where they also had their home Amner Hall that Her Majesty gave them. And Norfolk, the area, is very, very special to Catherine and William, so they did this lovely walkabout, and including, I'll give you first, this little girl was able to walk with Catherine and set her flowers down, so go ahead and take a watch here.
Excuse me.
All right, isn't that sweet? And look at the little girl later. She is crying with joy that she was able to do this. So go ahead and take a look at this video as well.
So she was coming around, and then she said, do you want to put the flowers down? And then she picked me, and then we went down, and then she put the flower, and then she said, put the flowers down there. I said, yeah, and the corgi.
Yeah, that's lovely, brilliant. And then she brought you back here.
Yeah.
Oh wow, and she's so
All right, and I'll just show you guys a couple more clips because I thought, again, they did a fantastic job engaging with the public, and they, shared some very sweet stories. William has one about their dog Orla and how he's been cuddling her a lot more recently. And I believe that it was at it was at an event that happened today. So go ahead and take a look here at a couple more clips.
Good morning. Nice to see you guys. Is everyone local?
Yes, I am. Local.
Yeah, we're a schooling thing, so
I've seen you got a sign up, haven't you?
yes, the Paddington.
Is it the Paddington one? I saw that as well. Did you guys draw that?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Paddington. Yeah, do you like Paddington? Yeah. Did you see the skit with Paddington and my grandmother? Yeah. It's great, wasn't it?
Inspired everyone.
Yeah. Did you all wonder what she'd have in her handbag? No one ever knows what was in her handbag. Paddington did it. It's wonderful. And have you been learning a bit about the Queen recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the Queen? What did you learn about the Queen? Did you learn anything about her in the last few days? Well, it doesn't have, that's very true. She doesn't have a passport, yeah. Do you know how many countries she visited? She's visited pretty much most of the world. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what dog she had? She had corgis. Exactly. Yeah. You've got a nice picture there as well, have you? Well done, you guys. Thank you for doing the Paddington. It's brilliant. It's really smart. So well done. That's good. And nice to see you. Shall I keep quick shake hands? Yeah? Very nice to meet you guys. How's school going? You all enjoying school? Yeah? Nice to see you. New term? Yeah? You fun? Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, it's nice to see you guys. Thank you for coming out today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm the head teacher. Thank you. Thank you.
Sea of hands. Try and reach everyone at the back.
Yes, please. I know.
Luna. You're very sweet, Luna.
I know. She loves it.
How old is she?
She's nearly 2.
Is she? Oh, dogs at this time are so important. I give my dog a lot of cuddles in there.
Very
important.
She's a big
We've got a little spaniel.
Sorry for your loss.
Sorry for your loss. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for coming along today. Thank you.
And then we also had Catherine and William visiting a military base where Catherine wore her military-inspired outfit that she wore previously to the Remembrance Day ceremonies. I kind of love military-inspired outfits. If I see one, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the military-inspired ones with the buttons and stuff. So I really love this look. And they were greeting soldiers from Commonwealth states who are coming in order to pay their respects to Her Majesty by participating in the funeral procession. So go ahead and take a look here at some of the pictures and the little bit of video that we have. All right, guys, again, Catherine and William showing up. I love kind of the length of her coat too. I think that's kind of awesome in addition to the military inspiredness. I didn't realize it was so long because when you see them at the Remembrance Day ceremonies, you just see them in, something that is, you think it's shorter because you only see them from about the waist up. And next we have a couple of other grand events as well. So we had William and King Charles going over to visit with people in the queue line. So go ahead and take a look at some of these pictures here.
Well, more than halfway, I gather. That's right, more than halfway. 11 hours.
So some people have been waiting for hours and hours, and so it was great joy to them to see Charles and William. And I think from a PR standpoint and from kind of an establishing the monarchy standpoint, it was just a fantastic thing to do. They were really able to engage with people and again share some little stories. I believe one from William explained that, you know, they were really expecting Her Majesty to live to 100. And so I think even though she was 96, given the longevity of the life of the Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and Her Majesty's, I think, general health, although there's a lot of rumors that she had bone cancer that was kind of deteriorating her. If you have somebody with cancer in your family, you're kind of expecting kind of a slow process that the person will go through as they're dying. But instead, I think whatever happened was very sudden. So, you know, you can take that will you will. I would lean towards maybe a stroke or a heart attack. And so I think they were deeply shocked, and it was really, you know, painful to go through that. So, and then Catherine and William, again, stepping up, they went to a reception for Commonwealth nations at Buckingham Palace. Catherine, again, busting out the Queen's pearls. I kind of love this in part because, and I know this is petty, that all Meghan has is these kind of trinket, you know, pearl and diamond earrings that the Queen gave her. And then Catherine is wearing like all the Queen's jewelry all the time, which I think is kind of sort of awesome. And again, it's a great tribute, but also goes to show that Catherine will now, as the Princess of Wales, have access to even more fabulous jewelry. And somebody once said, well, maybe it's kind of shallow to love the jewelry. I love the jewelry. I don't care if it's shallow. Like that's half the fun of royalty. It's great jewelry. All right, guys. And kind of in the final little bit here, we also have William doing the vigil with the rest of his cousins. So this was the grandkids vigil that they did for Her Majesty's coffin, and that happened Saturday evening. And it was kind of beautiful to see all the cousins come together in this instance and honor Her Majesty in this way, especially because, you know, obviously Viscount Severin, so this is Prince William's cousin, who's the son of Prince Edward, the Earl of Wessex, and Sophie, the Countess of Wessex. You know, he's quite young, kind of shy, doesn't seem to like to come out around the cameras much, and so that he was, you know, I think encouraged by his cousin, the future king, to kind of come and do this, I think is really, really cool. Obviously, we don't know. I don't think they're probably particularly close. You know, when you have that kind of level of gap in your age, it's kind of hard to connect with, you know, somebody who's younger. If you have a cousin that, you know, that there's like 15 or 16 years difference in your age, like 25. So that's quite a large difference in age. So they, you know, are probably not that close. But again, it goes to show, I think, that William was able to bring everybody together to do this. I think it's fantastic, and that they were all able to really show their respect to Her Majesty in this way. I wouldn't say that William, it was his idea, because we don't know whose idea it was. But again, he, as the future king, he did lead his cousins in many ways through this event. And just to close out this video, and I plan on expanding more about this, we just saw Catherine and William put on just a stunningly beautiful display during Her Majesty's funeral. Catherine and William, especially George and Charlotte, were very regal and together, and you saw the emotion, you felt the emotion, and yet they were also incredibly royal at the same time. And it was, again, just something incredibly exciting to see, especially from the young Wales's children, as they are going to be growing more and more into these roles as senior royals and going to become working royals before they know it. Catherine and William, I think, are doing a fantastic job embracing their roles. So guys, let me know what you think in the bottom of this video. Please give it a like and a thumbs up, and I will see you guys. Please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys very, very soon.